Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Mechanical Engineering 307, or as it really is, welcome to my backyard. Things are a little different this semester, as we know, but there's some good news, and that is that we're going to hold our lab class. We're actually going to do it. We're actually going to go in the lab, and we're actually going to break stuff. We're going to bend stuff, twist stuff, pull on it, push on it until it breaks, and hopefully learn something along the process. Some of you are taking either ME 306 or EMA 303, Mechanics Materials now. Some of you took it in the previous class. That's all good. We're not going to actually start doing stuff until week 4. So you've got the first 3 weeks off. No, that's not true. You've got the first 3 weeks to work on something else, and then week 4 we're actually coming to the lab and start doing stuff. So a couple things I want to point out. First is that we've got one returning TA and 2 new TAs. And as you know, TAs, you never know what you're going to get, right? I was an undergrad once. I was a grad student once, not that long ago, actually. And you never know what your TAs are going to be like. This semester, however, we've got a returning superstar. Rahul is awesome. And then we've got 2 new guys, right? And I never know what I'm going to get, right? There are some semesters I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be rough. But I had our first meeting with the Rahul, the returning superstar, and the 2 new TAs, and within 5 minutes of the first meeting, like, you guys are awesome, right? So Rahul, returning new guy. One of the new guys' name is Ed. I only met Ed just last week, but it turns out he's roommates with a student that I've worked with for a long time, and just talking to him for a little bit. Super cool guy. He's going to be a great teacher. And I think he has some teaching experience already. And then there's another guy, a new guy named Debe. It looks like D-E-B, on paper. But it is D-E-B on paper, but it's pronounced Debe, not Deb. And Debe has done quite a bit of teaching, and Debe, I think he's actually roommates with Rahul, and they work in the same lab, so Rahul and Debe are basically the same guy. Also, he's going to be great. There's no doubt in my mind we have 3 awesome TAs teaching the class this semester, so I'm really looking forward to that, and we're going to work it out. How exactly we're going to work this out? We can't pack 16 of you into the lab at the same time. That's too close. We don't have the capacity. You know all about this. So what we'll do is we'll take, like lab 003, and we'll split it into lab 003A and 003B. On the first week, actually the 4th week, lab 003A will come in and do the experiment, and then lab 003B is going to get a data set from a different experiment. And then the next week we switch, right? So it'll be clear. A, B, A, B, A, B, you'll alternate every other week. But there'll always be something to do. Either you do a real experiment and then process your real data, or we'll give you a data set from the experiment that kind of got nixed. That being said, the ones that you're actually going to do face-to-face, come into the lab and actually do what we think are the best and the most important experiments to do. The ones that we're going to give you data sets for, it'd be cool to do them, it'd be nice to do them, but we can't, right? We can only go every other week because the lab is just packed all day, every day. So that's that. The first actual face-to-face lab that you're going to do is week 4. Week 4, you'll come in and do the tension test. Or if you're in the B group, week 5, you'll come in and do the tension test. So here's the big kicker for the semester. I'm updating my software, okay. The big kicker for the semester is how many of you have ever taken a 1-credit class? Right, raise your hand if you've taken a 1-credit. And I know I'm in my backyard, you're wherever you are, but raise your hand just for kicks. Have you taken one? Yeah, have you? Right. Was your 1-credit class kind of a joke? Probably was, right? And so unfortunately, you come into this class, 1-credit lab class, I'm going to show up, sign my name, and leave, I'm going to get my credit. No, that's not really how this works. We expect you to do about 3 hours a week outside of lab, of work, to really do everything you need to do. So you're going to be 2 hours in the lab, to collect the data, run the experiment, and then plan on about 3 hours outside the lab to write this stuff up, to answer the questions we give you, to make the plots you need to make, etc. All right, so plan on that. This is a real class, 3 hours of work per 1 credit. This is a 1-credit class, that means it's 3 hours a week. All right, so what about these first 4 weeks? The first assignment we're going to give you, we're just going to give you this data set, and you're going to have to make a bunch of plots. You're going to have to fit a bunch of lines, and then find where lines intersect, and process data, and plot the data, and make it look really pretty, and we've got some really good resources for you to use. But it's, you've got basically 4 weeks to do it, right? Now, you guys are all engineering students, probably pretty good with math. If it takes 4 weeks to do it, and we're planning on 3 hours a week, 4 weeks, 3 hours per week, the weeks cancel, that means this is about a 12-hour assignment, right? So please, please start this assignment right away. Right away. Get the data set, read the instructions, read what you're supposed to do, and chip away at it 3 hours per week. And at the end of the 4th week, when it's actually due, you'll have plenty of time to do it. Now, what will surely happen, because it happens every semester, is that you will wait until the night before it's due, and you're like, oh, I got to do this experiment, or I have to do this lab write-up and make all these plots. And it's going to take you 9, 10, 11 hours to do. And then you're going to be mad. And then you're going to say, this is way too much work for one credit class, way too much work. Well, you've done nothing for the past 4 weeks, right? You've done absolutely nothing. And now you have 11 hours work to do. Don't do that, right? Just 3 hours every week, chip away at it. We're here to help. We'll have office hours and virtual office hours. So plan on that. If you do a good job on this, if you take the time and make good plots and learn how to make good plots and format the plots and format your writing, the rest of the semester will be really easy. In fact, I dare say less than 3 hours a week, right? Especially towards the end of the semester, it's gonna be really less than 3 hours a week. But if you don't do a good job on this first assignment, and you have no clue what you're doing, you don't know how to make plots, the rest of the semester is just gonna suck. So please just do the work, 3 hours each week for the first 4 weeks, make some nice plots, get that assignment turned in, and you'll discover that the rest of the semester goes much, much better. Okay, so that's about all I've got to say to you for our introductory video. Your TAs, Rahul, Ed, and Dave, not Deb, but Dave, will have another more stuff to do with you. They'll probably meet with you in your first week synchronously, maybe to split you into groups. I'm not sure. I'm kind of leaving it to them to do what they want to do. But they'll certainly have an introductory video, which you should watch next, depending on which section you're in. And I'll see you around.